So what's your crypto investment style? Let's find out. So those who want to get in the crypto space, but you really don't know where to start and you just want to get in and start investing, this is the video for you. Listen up. My name is Gomes and I've been in the crypto industry for almost a decade. And if you're interested in knowing what types of techniques exist to invest into the space, make sure you check out this video all the way to the end because I showcase 6 different types that are going to change your life and your experience in the crypto space. Let's do it. All right, so what's up with trading and is it the only way to make money in the crypto space? My answer is no, there are many ways, but here are 6 different ways that you can make money in the crypto space and come out on top. Let's do it. All right, so there's many ways, guys. There's many ways you can do this, but let's start with the quickest and fastest way to get into the space simply by creating a buy rule and doing a dollar cost averaging. So if you set up a rule to buy crypto, and when I say crypto, let's just stick to Bitcoin here, okay? Because Bitcoin has been tried and tested in its fundamentals as well as its decentralization, that in my opinion, it really is the most sovereign one at the moment. Now, it doesn't mean that it's not going through corporate veils that are tracking and tracing and all that, but that's a whole different video. Make sure you check that one out. Let's just stick to Bitcoin. So in Bitcoin, if you create a rule, okay, and just start buying on that rule, let's say you say, I'm gonna buy $100 a week of crypto, and you just buy $100 a week, $100 a week. What you're doing is you're creating this thing called DCAing, or dollar cost averaging. It means regardless of the price of Bitcoin, you're buying. And when the price dips, when it goes below certain price points that you initially bought into, well, then you start to average down the buy-in price. So that's a really quick and efficient way to get into the space and not have to really ride the emotional roller coaster. And then there's a term called hodling, HODLING, or hodl. There's so many reasons why that came to be. Primarily had to do with the show with Holdor. At the end of the day, it's just about holding the stuff that you buy. So if you create a rule, a dollar cost averaging rule, and start buying it on a regular basis, what's going to happen is, you're not selling, you're not buying, based on emotions. So you're just accumulating. And, the game here is asset accumulation. It's not about the dollar accumulation. It's the asset, the amount of asset that you have. Why? Because it's finite. There's a very limited amount of number that are ever going to exist. And as time moves forward, it's deflationary. So that's why that's the saying to hodler, because it's just built into the protocols to go up in price and to be scarce as time moves forward. Number 2 way of investing into the crypto space is, of course, it's another form of trading, but essentially it's everything based on community trends or, mainstream trend patterns. And this is really the low-hanging fruit, but there's been a lot of push and glamorization and marketing for certain NFT projects. And not just NFT projects, but also we call them meme coins, the meme community. Essentially, it's these projects that are really driven by intellectual property, like a well-known intellectual property, a well-known face, celebrity, or it's really driven by community, where the community kind of takes a hold of the project and just decides what they want to do with it. And so most of that trading has nothing to do with the fundamentals, has nothing to do with like the tokenomics of the company or the legal or all the variables that I teach on. It's really mostly about how flashy and how bright and pretty and exciting you can make the project. And then it's mostly driven by that. That is a way to make money. If you allow yourself to really tap into the communities through Discord, through Twitter, through all the places that they're pushing that specific project, you can then start tapping into what the community wants, and then start to find the opportunities and the arbitrage opportunities, the gaps between what's happening in the community and what's happening in the project itself. Most of the NFTs that were really successful in the short term in the last year and a half or so were mostly driven by that. They had these really well-known intellectual properties already built into them, already had a built-in audience. So, and then, you have somebody like Johnny Depp, for example. was selling an NFT. The numbers are funny how they work, because once you get to a certain number of followers, it's like you can put anything out and they would just, there's like a percentage of those followers that will just always buy what you put out. And so being Johnny Depp and having decades of movies under his belt, he has a massive audience that follows him. And anything he puts out is going to immediately be successful. You know, like I said, that is a way to make money quick in the space and a way to diversify, into different types of trading or types of ways to invest into the crypto space. Now that we've taken care of the old-fashioned way of doing things, which is trading, which I'm so deeply wanting to step away from and really want this industry to really let go of. That's such an old toxic way of being when it comes to making money. But here we're here, so we're transitioning out of it. But now that I've mentioned those two, let's go to the gamification side of things, like having fun while making money. That's what I'm about. I want to make money. You want to make money with me, and we have fun online, and we play games, and we make money together. That's what I want. That's what I want. Do you want this? Yeah, you want this too? Cool. All right, so here are the ways to do it. First way is essentially decentralized finance, right? Just DeFi. So decentralized finance is a gamification that's happening through these new platforms called DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. They're using a bunch of different tools inside crypto to create these new organizations that you can gamify. And you can gamify how you invest your money. You can gamify how you make money, to lend money, to borrow money. I mean, you can do a bunch of different things inside these DAOs. You can create marketplaces. I mean, there's so many cool things. But essentially, it's all mostly based on strategy. It's based on puzzle solving and really honing in techniques inside this parameter of rules that you can, play with. So the best way that I can explain this, or the best analogy that I can come up with, is video games. When you go into a video game, the developer of that video game created parameters. He coded a world, a reality that your avatar, your person in that game, can walk around and do things in. If you ever played in one of these games, you walk up to an area like a river or a building, and you can't walk around it, or you can't walk across the river. There's like this invisible wall there. Well, that invisible wall is the coder of the game saying, hey, these are the parameters. You can't go past this. But anything inside these parameters, go nuts. Up level, down level, kill, make, create, whatever you want to do it. So that's the same concept inside of these projects, these decentralized applications. You have these, and it's very simple, right? The more simple, the better, because then you can really start to strategize in that space. But they'll give you 5-6 rules that happen in the protocol that's just executing. It's just going to happen automatically without any interaction. And then also it'll interact. It'll react to the interaction of the users themselves. So it's literally like a gaming organism that you come into to interact with, and then it pays out rewards when you give in that time and that effort and that sweat equity. So that's the big difference between what's been happening in the crypto space and the direction that we are moving into, which is this whole new layer of, it's not a lot of risk in the sense of like, you have to hope that the market does something, or the risk of somebody taking the money away from you. This is really all about strategy and puzzle solving and honestly community building, because there's so many ways to make money that we can't do it all by ourselves. I can't do it all by myself. So I'm teaching others to do it so that they can have more, so I can have more eyes out there and seeing the different ways to make money so that we can all make money together. That's really, again, it goes back to, can we make money together like friends? And then you watch out for stuff and I watch out for stuff. And then we come together and we go, hey, did you see this? I saw this. Did you see this? We saw this. Let's do it together. Cool. Let's do it together. Way. Essentially, that's what's being created right now in the space. It's just a very different way of making money, and that's, you either get it or you don't. And if you don't, that's okay. It just means that there are more layers to this reality that required peeling back of. Okay, so the next way of making money is, so we explained decentralized finance, which is very straight up. This is what, it's a gamification of the peer-to-peer finance. Now we go to the opposite end of the spectrum, which is actual gaming. So it's called GameFi. Who's coming up with these names, guys? Who's coming up with these names? All right, well, GameFi, it's essentially decentralized gaming finance, which is funny because it's like you have decentralized finance, which is the gamification of finance, but now you have decentralized gaming finance, which is the financing of gaming. See what I did there? That's what they did there. But it all goes back to the gamification of abundance. GameFi, or decentralized gaming finance, it's where you make money playing video games online, and they have a bunch of different platforms that you can go on and play video games, up level. There's like sport betting games as well, which is still kind of trading, and somebody needs to lose for you to win, but they do have some that the protocol is what pays out and not necessarily the individuals that invested. The house always wins term, I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. The house always wins. So in crypto, that's also true, but you're part of the house. So even if you're betting against other people in these games, at least in my experience, I've noticed that most of these games still kind of like redistribute to everyone, kind of gives everyone a little piece of the pie, no matter where you fall on the hierarchy of win to loss. So that is another way to make money. It's just finding these games that you got to put in some time, you got to put in some effort, some sweat equity, I like to call it, and it pays out. And then you just have to, diversify, take profits, redistribute, stack them sats. So the fifth way of making money online is the normal pathways that have existed in the crypto space for almost a decade now. There is obviously mining, so crypto mining. Crypto mining, I would say, would be the most expensive way of starting that process of like making passive income, because it requires some heavy investment into the hardware and maintenance, like keeping up the electricity costs and, keeping an eye on it, making sure that it's profitable. Because you have to make sure that it's profitable on a daily basis, or else you're paying more money for the electricity cost than actually making money in the mining. So that is one way of doing. Obviously, there's staking. It's just Web 3.0 staking, which is essentially like mining, but it doesn't require the hardware. You just have to buy the token that's for that ecosystem, and then you take it and you lock it. You tell the protocol, hey, I'm not gonna sell. Here it is. Here's the money, I'm not selling. And then the protocol goes, cool, for not selling, I'm gonna benefit you. I'm gonna reward you for not selling. And so those are anywhere between, I'd say 8 to 15%, depending on the platform. They're definitely on the lower end of the spectrum of interest payments. There's also governance tokens, or the proof of governance. And that's been something newer that's been happening. And that has to do with, it's not necessarily about the amount of money that you have locked in. It's mostly about really like your involvement. And so they create different things throughout the project that require you to execute certain things that shows that, hey, you're still here, you're a part of this community, you're still involved in the decision making and all that. And so that's another way to make money in the space. And then one of the easier ways that's been happening recently, and I'll even share the project that's been really paying out on this in this format, and that's Atom, ATOM. That's Cosmos. So they've been doing this thing called Airdrops, right? And it's not necessarily the project itself. It's like it's the community that supports these projects. And so what they've done is they've created their own projects inside the Cosmos network, or the Atom network. And then they give free tokens to all the people that held the Atom token, or that staked it at least. And so you get these airdrops, and like, man, they've been paying out so much money per week, to where there was this one recently that was an airdrop, and right now they're back. And so if you have some money and you want to get this like it's a compounding passive income, because you get the airdrop and you're still making passive income from the staking. And then you can take that airdrop, and some of these projects, you can stake them. And then those are getting airdrops. It's an inception of airdrops. So there's a lot of ways to make money in crypto, basically. And then here's the last way, the sixth way that I like to suggest, and that I am trying to inspire as many of you as possible to do. And that is to just create your own project. I know that sounds difficult. It sounds hard, right? Like, what do you mean make your own project, Otto? I'm not gonna go make my own project. Well, if I can say this one thing to you to inspire and to show you that it is possible, let me say this. Every single thing that you need as an artist, as a, whatever thing you do or product you create, whatever skill you have, everything that you need to build an audience in the crypto space exists today. Just like it exists in social media and the mainstream way where you can build an audience through their platforms, they have platforms today that exist that you can start building an audience decentralized. So it's really about, you individually unlimiting yourself from the potential of this. And this is what I've been saying, that true decentralization, like to truly take back our power, it has to start at the local level. All these projects that have been coming out, that have been launching at a global level, you're fighting against globalists. And so you're gonna be attracting the scrutiny of globalism, which comes with governments bringing down scrutiny, the corporations themselves, it's a corporate, at the moment, there's a massive mix between corporatism and government bodies. And like there's like a simpatico, like they're kind of working together. If you create things on a global scale, you're going to be attracting both of those, both sides. So there really is an awareness to that, and understanding that, like, if we start at the local level, start with 1,000 people, either it be geographically or, based on a specific ideology or even religion, or literally whatever specific goal that that group has, can bring those people together. And then you can start to literally create your own little marketplaces, your own little ecosystems, your own little reserve system, just like the Federal Reserve. So creating your own DAO, in my opinion, is the most abundant way to move forward, because then you're not reliant on these other projects. You're not reliant on these other systems, and you are just literally creating your own. And it's really about, once you eliminate the limitations, it's a copy and paste. It's a copy and paste, guys. Now, obviously it's easier said than done, but it's all there. It's possible. It's just a matter of like finding the confidence through research and through connecting with community. And that's what I'm trying to do here with my stuff. So to summarize all of this, let's summarize the whole thing. This is not just another asset class. I've been saying this. Okay, this is a completely different system. It's a paradigm shift away from centralized systems to decentralized ones. Okay, trading it like it's always been done before, it'll just be bastardized. Okay, just like previous markets. If we keep just trading crypto as we've always done, evil, or that the mindset, the idea of somebody needs to lose for me to win, that's gonna come into the space and be perpetuated on a blockchain version of the same old mindset. So we have to be able to let go of that mindset, of that ideology that somebody needs to lose, of trading. When I say trading, I don't mean bartering. It's different. Trading is using that third monetary system, dollars, USD, fiat, to then create an imbalance of the worth that comes from the individual themselves. We must step into the space to be inspired, okay, and not allow the programming of the old to affect how we perceive the new. If we keep allowing the old programming to distort and manipulate the way we see this new system, we're going to only be perpetuating the same old BS. So if you can get inspired to do more research, to do more work on looking at the layers and to see how it actually works, to find the confidence, to then find the community, to then be inspired, that's the way that I want to share that is really the best way to make money in the crypto space, is just by doing it yourself. All right, guys, thank you so much for following along until the end of this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and you like my perspective and you want to know more, make sure you smash that subscribe button here on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at @AutoGomes, Twitter, TikTok, and I'll be going on some other platform soon. But yeah, guys, if you love it, make sure you follow me and find out what else there is to know. And always remember to gamify your abundance. Love you guys.